Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. Whistleblower. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Connie Willis back with the private military, government contractor, and U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran. Robert Treat is with us discussing his life, his background, and what he sees for the future and what he has learned along the way that he's going to tell us about. Whistleblower, informant, these are the names that a lot of people will tag on to him. It's Robert Treat, as well as deathbed confession. However, he's got a chance to make it through. Go to the GoFundMe that is in the description. Take a look, see where you can help.
Informant.
The one real shocker for me was, who was kind of in charge. Here's the Pope. Because this is when it ended, was the initiation ceremony, the formality, me becoming that was, and this was a turning point, was I'd gone to New York, and I was at the hotel there, the Millennium Hotel in Times Square, where I was attending the going to Rome party with these highest ranking of these members.
The going to Rome, is that the ritual?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I was told, I was informed that we're going to Rome. We're going to stay at the Palazzo. You're going to meet the Pope, and when you meet the Pope, that's it. You're in the club. You're a made man. That's you're one of us. After the Pope gives you his blessing. So
and that's the ritual, meeting him and he blesses you.
Yes.
That's really it.
That's
not
it.
A whole bunch. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, no, we don't have to wear, diapers around our head and run around naked with a paddle.
You don't have to go through people's legs and they paddle you. Yeah. Now I know.
It's not like the Masons where they chain you up, put a sword to your heart, and make you swear your man crush on each other forever.
Oh, you're not even cutting hands and doing blood brother things or anything,
No, just meet the Pope and it's like,
and you're in.
Says something in Latin and boom, you're in the club. So we're there at the Millennium Hotel in this private suite, and this guy they called Prince Petrucci, but I never got an answer as to what he was prince of. Embarrassing moment when I met him because he was lurking around the elevator, and I was like, "Hey, Glenn, who's the Euro trash in the corner?" Well, he heard me say that.
Oh, he could banish you off the planet and the universe.
Apparently, he got a kick out of it. He liked me being on it. He liked me saying that. It's like, this guy, he doesn't take it.
Excellent. Yeah.
He doesn't, and they don't meet guys like that very often. So he comes over and put his arm around me. He goes, "You're sitting with me at my table." So I'm sitting with, this guy, Prince Petrucci. I don't believe that was his real name for a second. I have no idea who he is. Nice suit, but dated. So much pomade in his hair, it looked greasy. That's why I called him that. I just comb straight back, and it's kind of like long and like, a mullet. Everything about this guy was dated, right? But he was a nice guy. I'm sitting at his table, and we're talking, and right next to me is a Rockefeller.
This is a Connie Willis exclusive on Connie Willis, the podcast.
So at the table next to us is one of the Rockefellers, right? And he is drunk and just running his mouth. And he's telling the other person at his table, there's one other guy sitting there, and he's telling this other person the history of things yet to come, right? And see, what year was this? Probably Oh, this was late '98. Okay. He's telling this person at his table that, oh, you're in the future, you're going to see our guys. They're going to be going into caves looking for an enemy that isn't there. And then he says the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to take down Venezuela. And then he says, the next thing that's going to happen is, this asteroid scare. These asteroids are going to, people are going to believe these asteroids are going to hit the Earth and kill us all. And he's mildly elaborating on each of these things. And but it was the last thing, the end game, the final event that got my attention. And it was because of the way he said it that made me remember that whole conversation so vividly. Not the conversation I was part of, the conversation he was having that I was eavesdropping on. I heard every word. What he said next is the reason it stuck in my head, because of the way he said it. He said the end game is going to be a staged alien invasion. And what caught my attention was the word staged. What does he mean by staged? Staged as in, you would stage your forces for an invasion. You have your landing forces, and you have your follow-on forces and your supply lines, and you stage everything to you have a flawless invasion, right? That kind of staged, or staged as in hoaxed. Right? That's caught my attention. But at the time, I'm thinking, this is like a lot of their ideas are never going to come to fruition. It's just drunken, talk, macho posturing stuff, right? And I didn't really pay much mind to it until 9/11 happened, and our military found itself involved in a little place in Afghanistan called Tora Bora. And that whole thing came flooding back to me. I was like, holy cow, he said this was going to happen. Remember Tora Bora, that cave system where we thought the Taliban was, and we're sending soldiers in and dropping daisy cutters on it, trying to scare the Taliban out?
Yeah.
And it turns out there's nobody in there?
Yeah.
He said that.
Oh.
Dude said that. He said, you're going to see our soldiers going into a cave system looking for an enemy that isn't there. He said it, and I just watched it happen, right?
Oh.
And then Venezuela fell. And then you started seeing asteroid scares on the news and movies about asteroids, right? And if you look at the movies, they've been showing, for decades now, that when the aliens, come back, they're going to be hostile and destroy everything. They're trying to portray the good grays as the bad, right? There's the topsy-turvy thing. So since I witnessed everything else this guy said come true in my lifetime, the last thing on that list is a staged alien invasion. That's the only thing that's left that has not come to pass. I came to believe that when they were talking about staged alien invasion, he meant hoaxed. What made me really suspect that was the holographic technology, where you see Michael Jackson performing in concert even though he died years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that they were able to keep their technology on pace with their agenda. So they've changed Agenda 21, and the last iteration I heard it was Agenda 25, right? So I guess they're planning the end game to be 2025, when the end game was planned for 2021, but the technology wasn't ready. They couldn't do it. They couldn't pull off an alien invasion hologram in the sky convincingly enough to make us believe it. So since they knew they couldn't keep their 2021 target, they rolled it back to 2025, and in 2019 they gave us something else.
What was 2019?
Yeah, we all know what that was.
COVID?
Yep. It's just a stall tactic, and further locking in what they'd already started. Like, remember I said, where you lock in changes is virally. But in order to deploy a virus, you need a map for that virus to follow, right? So, one thing that they've known, that scientists have known for a long time, is that DNA is programmable. Okay, your DNA is an operating system. An operating system can be programmed, it can be hacked, it can be modified. Right? Since DNA is a chemical, basically, it's a chain of amino acids. The way you hack a computer, use computer code. The way you hack a biological computer is use a biological hack, right? So, to hack DNA, you need chemicals, right? Well, that hack is temporary. Eventually, your inbuilt antivirus software is going to filter out, the temporary modifications, right? You lock it in with a virus, right? So one infection or a series of infections will create the map, and then when you inject the actual retrovirus created by the stem cells, right? Because you need the stem cells to lock it in, to create the virus to lock that in. You have to have those stem cells. Right? Those stem cells have to match the species that it's targeted to. So to create the retrovirus that locks in the temporary viral infection, you need stem cells from another human. Right? This is where the insidiousness comes from. And so the abortion industry provides the stem cells. The stem cells go into the things they inject us with, right? The retroviruses to cure genetic things. It locks in the changes, makes them permanent, right? And there's going to be a certain amount of rejection, as the DNA replicates. You're going to have people suddenly die. So they get to kill two birds with one stone. One, they get a delay of game tactic. Actually, they get three birds with one stone. Delay of game tactic, lock in chemical modifications, and cull off a good percentage of the population in the process.
Informant. What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.